Okay, so on Hayam and Beis, Rabba B'rei the Rabba. We're starting Chazara. Hayam and Beis, Rabba B'rei the Rabba Omar. So we're discussing Rebbe planting on Purim. Rabba B'rei the Rabba Omar. So Rabba, the son of Rabba, said, I feel Tema B'yoyma. Even possibly, Rebbe was planting this Natiyah on the day that he held Purim. And how do we reconcile that? Hesped v'tainus kabilu alayhu. Hesped and tainus, the Yidden were makabel on themselves. Malacha le kabilu alayhu. Malacha was not taken on at that point by the Yidden. The Mekar Ksif, so what's the raya? The first pasuk that discusses Simcha Mishta v'Yomtiv, Simcha Mishta and Yomtiv, having a party, having a Suda, and not working. But the B'sayif Ksiv, La Soisasam, Yimei Mishta v'Simcha. And then when it goes over and says the people that Yidden were makabel on themselves, so it says that they were makabel on themselves Mishta and Simcha. V'ilu Yomtiv like Ksiv. And Yomtiv, it doesn't say they were makabel. So effectively, Rav, my time Latia lehu gavra. So why did Rav curse that man who was planting flax on Purim? A place where something is mutter, but the people are noyeg that they don't do it, and they consider it like an isser, you can't do that. But the Rebbe and the place where Rebbe lived, like no, they were not accustomed to working. So when he saw somebody working, it was like, but like we have Cholamai.
Okay. They did not work. That's why he was able to play.
They didn't. No. I'm saying. I think aren't we discussing Rebbe cursing? Not.
Rav,
oh, right.
Cursing.
We're not Rav cursing. Right. Sorry. Yes, we're discussing Rebbe, and Rebbe. It wasn't noyeg to abstain from work. It was a right. I'm sorry. I got confused. So now we could say another pshat. Right. I kept on thinking we're saying pshat in Rav cursing the person who was working on Purim. We're discussing Rebbe who was planting on Purim.
Right. So Rav cursed and Rebbe planted.
Right. So I just forgot what we were discussing. Now we're going to say another pshat. La'ilam nog. Name, they were nog to work, to not work. The Rebbe, what was Rebbe doing? Natiyah shel simcha nota. He was planting a natiyah of simcha, a planting of simcha. Like we learned in the Brisa. Avru elu v'loinanu. So we're talking about the Tainas Geshamim. So the 13 Tanayos passed by and they weren't answered. Mematim b'mas the binyan v'natiyah. So we start doing less work, less building, less planting, less engagements and marriages. And the Brisa, the Tana in the Brisa teaches us on this Mishnah. What does it mean? Binyan shel simcha. What does it mean? Natiyah shel simcha. So when we're talking about binyan, we're talking about specifically a binyan of a simcha. We're talking about planting. We're talking about a planting of simcha. Ezeu binyan shel simcha. So what is considered a binyan of simcha? Ze'abayna beis chasnas levnai. Somebody who builds this house for his firstborn son, they built a house and they had the chasna in the house, they had the chuppah in the house, and that's what we're discussing when we're talking about building. What's considered a natiyah of simcha? This is somebody who builds this royal arbor.
Plant.
It's right. The plant. What's a plant of simcha? So the Gemara's example, for instance, somebody who builds this royal arbor. They build this these vines that intertwine, and kings like sit there in the summer for the shade, and they have events and stuff over there. Gazebo. Oh, gazebo's good. Hayam and Beis and Veit and Shas. Hayam and Beis. We're in the second wide line. Gufa. Gufa, Chizkiah Kari B'Tveya. So people are asking who Chizkiah was, and before Chizkiah was the son of Chia, and he was an Amoira, and it seems like he was like an early Amoira because there seems to be reference to him also being a Tana, if such a thing was saying.
Reb Chia? Because it's Reb Chia, that's Rav's uncle, that's a Bnei Kodesh student. He was the last Tana, then it would shtim. He was the last Tana, the first Amira. Rav was already Tana Itali.
I was like looking up a few things. It seemed like Chizkiah by Chia.
Right, so if it's Reb Chia, then it would shtim. Very interesting.
Then it would shtim that he would be how many generations?
I'm saying that Reb Chia was the last Tanu. He was still a Talmud of Rebbe, and he was an uncle and a Rebbe of Rav. Rav was the first Amir. So if Chizkiah was like a cousin of Rab, it would be right around.
Right, that he was right around that
the
thing. Okay,
boundary.
fine. So I could do more research, but that's what I saw just now. Chizkiah. So the Gemara discussed that Chizkiah lived in Tveria, and Agav, when you look up Chizkiah, the first thing that you find is that he was known to read Megillah on the 14th and the 15th. That's like one of the things that made him famous, apparently, according to Wikipedia or whatever. Chizkiah kar b'Tveria ba'beisa v'chamesa. So Chizkiah, the Amorim, read Megillah on the 14th and the 15th in Tveria. Why? Mesap Galei, he was Mesopik, Imekevas Chaimim Mas Yeshua ben Nun he Eloi. So he was not sure if it was a surrounded city in the times of Yeshua ben Nun. In fact, the Gemara, that's what the Gemara said. So now Gemara is asking, Mi Mesap Galei Milsa the Tveria, is the status of this of Tveria like in doubt? Is that like not something that's the Tveria, the Hoksif? We have a pasuk that says, and this is in Yeshua, the Arei Mivtzar, the fortified cities, Hatzadim, Tsar, the Chamas, Rekes, the Kineres, all names of cities. The Kaim Alon, and we zet sign that Rekes u Tveria. Rekes is Tveria. So Zok the Gemara, Hainu time the Mesapkele. This is the reason why he was in Subik. Mishum, the Chad Gisa, Shura the Yamas Havas. One of the boundaries, one of the walls of Tveria was the Kineres. So that's what the Gemara is saying, right? So it's walled, but one of the walls. Like sometimes we use in Erevin even mechitzas mayim, like they use the ocean, which I think Miami Beach has this come up a lot whenever they're discussing the Erevin.
A problem again. 10 years ago,
it goes up and it goes down.
Sholom Miller because the what are the things?
The tide.
The tide, the low tide and high tide.
The docks. Something that the docks might make a problem. Every couple of years it becomes. I'm not going to say it becomes a problem or not, but somebody makes an issue until they figure it out. But definitely, because there's a lot of seawall in Miami Beach.
Right, so they use the wall. A lot of places you could use the seawall as part of as a mechitza. Ihachi, so the Gemara says Ihachi ebaje amay mesapkele. What's the doubt? Vade lav chaymehi. It's for sure not a wall because it's water. The Tanya. Because we have a brisa not talking about Megillah. We're going back now to Beis Ir Chayma. Asher Loi Chayma. It says that it has a wall, v'lo shor. Iger Saviv Pratlet Tveria. Sheyama Chaymsa Le'inyan Bate Ir Chayma Lo Misapkele. Right, so
here they say that Veloy Shir Iger means not a wall of houses.
Not a wall of houses, right? In Beis Chayma,
Soviv is part of the Pusim Pratlet Tveria Sheyam
Chayma.
So that's why it's excluded.
Right. So what does the Gemara say? So Inyan Batei Erchayma Lemsapkele. He wasn't when it came to Batei Erchayma, where you can't use a house as a wall to be the wall of the city. Right, so Batei Erchayma he
so that's why it's excluded.
Right, so what does the Gemara say? So Inyan Batei Erchayma Lemsapkele. He wasn't when it came to Batei Erchayma, where you can't use a house as a wall to be the wall of the city. Right, so Batei Erchayma he didn't have that problem. So when did he have the problem? He had the problem dafka over here by Megillah. Why? What was the problem? Kikom Sabagalela in Yemik Megillah. Why? My prosim umay mekofin. He had a question about what does it mean when we talk about prosim? What does it mean when we talk about mekofin? When we talk about walled cities and we talk about unwalled cities. So he had like a brisker shaila, like what's the nafkamina in halacha in in the din of a walled city and the din of an unwalled city. The ksivi gabi Megillah, mishum dahani miglu, vahani loy miglu, is the issue by Mikra Megillah having the walled city. Is it that the city is open to the enemies, or not open? V'hanami miglia oidilma mishum dahani mignu v'hani loy mignu. V'hanami miglia. Right, so the question was that he was masopik about. Was it because it had the difference in halacha was if they were open or not open, or protected or not protected? Because if it just needs to be surrounded by a wall, that you could see that there's a wall, so then the water would be enough. If it has to be protected from the enemies, then having the water there is not enough. Did I explain that properly in a way that?
He said good. Okay.
I
mean, because they say over here, if it's big league, Tveria
the question
is
is
big
what
league.
is Perusing? That in the bottom
Right.
of 30 is actually
Right. No, he's saying good, but it seems to be mamish. It says the opposite. It says that if it has to be, if it's a difference in exposed or not exposed, Tveria it is exposed because
But
it
is
doesn't
exposed,
have
right.
a wall. But if you're looking at Migne, which is mugging, protected, if you're looking at protected, Tveria is exposed because the water you can't get through. That's the way they're.
Oh, you're saying that
it's protected
Right,
from one
right,
side
right.
of the
Camera, I
wall
have
of
to
houses.
cheat.
You can't get
One side is protected by walls of houses, the other side is protected by the sea. So it is protected from
water is
being conquered.
Right, so I'm saying that's what the
but
that's
it's not a cover. It's not a technical wall. So that's the question. Do you look?
that's
at
what the
protection?
question is, right?
Right. That was the suffix. But it says prosim. It says in the Megillah Esther. What are we looking for? Do we look for protection, or do you look for that it has to be mamish covered? Tveria is not covered.
So the main thing he wasn't.
Not protected.
It wasn't that he was masupik if it had a wall in the time Yeshua ben Nun or not. The wall that was there was known to be there, and the water was known to be there.
Right.
The question was what halacha this falls into, what gather falls into not having a wall or having the water as a wall. Megillah, Rabbi Asi read in the Megillah where he lived in Hutzal, Babesa B'Chamesa, on the 14th and the 15th. Why? Mesapgale imekevas chaimim ma'is Yeshua ben Nun he Eloi. Because he was masupik if this place Hutzal was surrounded by a wall in the time of Yeshua ben Nun or not. Ika da Amar. There's others that say Amar Rabasi, Hi Hutzal. This Hutzal, the base Binyamin, Mekevas chaimim ma'is Yeshua ben Nun he. And I think I'm going to stop over there.
Yeah.